Welcome to the Good Shabbos message. We are in historic times, right before the coming of the Mashiach. This Shabbos is actually Rosh Chodesh. It is, in fact, the Yartzeit. It is the passing. The only passing recorded in the Torah is this Shabbos. It is the passing of Aaron HaKohen. And it's interesting because Aaron HaKohen, in a way, according to Hasidus Jewish mysticism, embodied the essential essence of what Judaism was all about, even more than Moses, even more than Abraham, which is amazing. Abraham and Moses, of course, were great minds, and Aaron HaKohen was this great heart. He was known for Oyev Shalom, V'roidev Shalom, Oyev Esabriyas, and Makarvan L'Torah. He was known for loving peace and pursuing peace. If he would go around, if he see there any disagreements between people, he would do everything in his power. Let's say if he saw two people that were arguing, he'd later go over to each individual. He'd say, "Hey, I met your friend. He feels so bad about the argument," and he'd say the same thing to the other. And the two of them, when they would see each other next, they would think, "Oh wow, my friend feels bad about it." They would make up. This man was a great prophet like Moses, and he was the Kohen Gadol, and yet he literally would take his time to make sure that husbands and wives were okay with each other. His ability to pursue peace in a loving way was perhaps unique in human history. And so this is what Judaism really is all about. In fact, the last thing that Moses had to do before he passed away, which we're coming up to that we're starting soon. Next week is Parshas Dvarim, and 30 days Parshas Dvarim is the 30-day last speech of Moses before he passes on. Literally was to fight the evil of conflict. Conflict is the greatest evil that exists. I just learned this thing from the Alter Rebbe. He says the first temple, the first base of Mitzvah, was destroyed because of the three cardinal sins of Shvichas Damim, Gilui Arayos, and Avodah Zarah. The Jews were, God forbid, murdering each other. They were worshiping idols, as well as adultery. The three worst things possible. A Jew is meant to give his life before he does, and yet they did that. And the lesson of this is that 70 years later, they had managed to purge themselves of this evil. And the Jewish people as a whole, as a nation, never went back to that. But the second temple was destroyed because of sinas chinam. Now, what is sinas chinam? Sinas chinam is hatred. Even today in Israel, sorry to say, before October 7th, with these stupid protests of the left, I remember an Arab was actually kind of protesting the protests. He said, "Well, what's wrong? You don't have it good here? Other countries, you don't have freedom. You've got it good. What are you going crazy about?" A friend of mine was at a rabbinical conference, and he told me that he took out his tefillin. He's on a flight to Israel. And so he offered people to put on tefillin, and some people started shouting at him, "You're forcing religion on people." They started getting into an argument. So there was an Arab there. He said, "What's with Ahavat Yisrael? What about loving your fellow Jew?" Sometimes conflict, and it happens in families, happens in communities. We lose our mind. Just the other day, I'll be honest, my wife and I were part of an organization. It was a question of where did the people have to go, and it was like a little bit of a tit-tat. And it's like, you're a husband and a wife. What are you doing? You're the two people that are closest to each other. You're having a spat with each other? Does that make sense? Your own community members, your own siblings? So there's literally this poison in the air, which is actually focused more, as somebody once said, we argue more with those we love, because those that we don't love, we're not sure what the response is, so we're very careful. But those we love, this evil, this worm of conflict gets involved, whereas you should be counting your blessings every day. How many people are lonely? How many people actually have a good marriage? How many people are happy? Very few. And if you have that, count your blessings. If you're part of a community where people care about each other, they even talk to each other, you're so lucky. So many people are alone. I don't know the stats, but I think it's like 50%. It's horrific. And you have love and you choose conflict? Have you lost your mind? It's like a person has gold and he throws it away and he takes in dirt instead. Have you lost your mind? And that's what the evil of conflict does. And the way we get around it, because behind conflict, the subconscious reason for conflict is ego. My ego has to be better than your And that's what happens. So we have to come to humility. Now, how do we come to humility? It's the first time I studied this in my entire life, and I've studied a little bit, written over 40 books in Jewish mysticism. The Alter Rebbe says as follows in his famous Hecholzu Maimer, the forerunner of all Hecholzu. He says that the beginning, the first letter of God, his name, is Yud. And what does this mean? We have to get to humility. And he says something amazing. How do you get to humility? That your thoughts, your speech, and your action have to be dedicated to God. Because what's the opposite of humility? My thoughts are about me. My speech are about me. My actions are about me. The Alter Rebbe says elsewhere, the beginning of evil is me, the I. Once a person has this I, then what happens is they become all about themselves, and now you are standing in my way. However, if we actually turn it around, and then we actually say, no, I'm going to give my thoughts, my speech, my actions to God. You take away the I. There's no more conflict. And the whole world is part of this beautiful story, a God-driven journey and destiny for a perfect or a perfected or perfecting world. So please join me in this massive, massive task. We have to end conflict. And if somebody says something not nice to you, it's just their ego. It's not them. They love you. They are good. They are kind. Let's join together. Let's make a resolution to end conflict now. Thank you for watching.